Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go. Gentlemen, what's going on, people?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, before I even do any introductions, I just want to get the vibe.
Okay.
You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Nardo, you good down there?
Good, man.
How was your day?
I can't complain.
Yeah?
I can't complain.
You had a good day, man?
Same here, man. I have no complaints.
There it is. We have a viewer on already, so I guess we're going to get started. People, welcome to Thrive 365. This is where success, substance, and relationships matter. I am your host, Dietrich Waters. This is your co-host.
Bernard Pope.
Man, we are Thrive 365. We have an awesome treat for you guys today. As you can see the topic, man. As you can see the topic, you know what the topic is. Before we even get to the topic, I want to talk about some situations at hand. Men being real men and having a real understanding. And before you can even get into that, you have to meet a real man. I want to bring to y'all tonight, man, the life coach, the relationship coach of the century.
Boy, you crazy.
Man, when I tell you, man, listen, I know this guy personally, man. I am obliged that he's on our show because we actually done a show with him and his wife before.
Let us into his humble abode.
Yes, and I wish she could have blessed us with our presence tonight, but she had some other business to take care of. So, without further ado, man, I want to give you some more. Let me give him some more. Listen,
He's something else, man.
man, when I tell you, man, this man know his stuff, I'm gonna go and introduce him. I'm gonna let him talk, cause I ain't gonna do him no justice. Mr. Jimmy Rogers.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
Relationship,
for having me.
real talk, man.
Guru, counselor.
Oh, man.
Before we can get started, man, I just want you to do this before we can get started and people know what we're talking about. Give me your information. Let them know how they can reach you.
Guys, thank you all again for having me. I'm humbled to be invited to be on the show. But for those of you all who don't know us, my name is Jimmy Rogers. My wife is Rachel Rogers.
There it
We
is.
are Relationship Real Talk. For those of you who would like to check us out and see some more information on us, you can go to our website, which is www.rrtministry.com. And that's www.rrtministry.com, and you'll see the services that we offer. But I mean, you guys are amazing. I thank you for the credits, man.
Man, I didn't even do
don't
that.
Don't blow me up too much.
I didn't
man.
do that because you know what, man? Listen, I'm telling you, your body of work and everything just threw me in shock, and I got camera shock right here in front of the man, Mr. Jimmy Rogers, man. I got stuff. Y'all excuse
Gotta
me.
give credit where credit
But
is
listen,
due.
I'm telling you, once you hear what we have to bring to y'all tonight, you're going to understand why I got stuff. The man knows his stuff. Without further ado, man, you know what the topic is, man. Why isn't the person you're so compatible with not good enough? That's the topic for tonight.
That's a good one.
We already got started a little bit. We was cranking it up
That's a good one.
before it even came on. So
Not over, man. If you will, man, bring us on in there, man.
yeah, man. You know, just really, I like what Jimmy was saying, man. Just about the main thing when we think about compatibility. It's not just how can I say it? Just like when you say I'm compatible with someone, it's levels to this thing. It's different areas that you would be compatible in.
Right.
And you know, he was just kind of breaking down some of those areas where you can be compatible here, here, and here, but in this area you're just not compatible, and that could be just, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back. It's just not gonna work.
Right.
You know, so we just wanted to kind of, that was what we were talking about, and it really just made a lot of sense to me. I never really, as much as I thought about this subject today, I never thought about it that deeply. Like, wow, it could be something. I mean, you know, it's almost like one of those things where everything looks good, right? Until you actually move in with them,
Right.
Oh, man.
Right.
and then it's like, hold on,
Right.
you know, so.
Well, you know, one of the things I often share with people is there are 5 main areas of compatibility that we have to be concerned with. 5. And of course, there are others, but I found that if you can be compatible in these 5 areas, your relationship has a very, very strong chance of working.
Okay.
And that is spiritually, you have to share the same moral values.
Spiritually.
Right.
For those who who may be listening who may not be spiritual, you have to have the same moral compass. You know, I can't think something's good and you think it's bad. We're not going to mesh over a period of time. So, and then you go into the social.
So
Do you all see, share the same social understandings?
Right.
Do you hang out in the same social groups? Because over a period of time, that's going to pose a problem. Well, your spouse doesn't really like doing that thing, but you love doing it. And so now it becomes, well, you spending too much time doing
Conflict.
that. Right.
Right.
And then, of course, financially. Are you financially compatible? Do you have one that's frugal, but another one that just want to spend everything?
Right.
Those things really, really matter.
No, that's imperative.
Then, of course, the one most of us love, sexually. Are you sexually compatible?
Ding, 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 ding. Come on, Thrive 365.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't really know if they're compatible with their significant other. And let's just, for argument's sake, let's just say for those who are really trying to follow the biblical principles and not have not have sex before marriage.
Right.
So, but it didn't say you can't have the conversations.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I at least want to know, hey, this is what I like.
Listen, you see the hearts. This is the
Right.
first time, this is the first time I've heard that, man. That's some good stuff.
what's your skill set?
Right.
What's your skill set?
I mean, what do you like? Here's what I like.
Right.
We can have those conversations. So now we can go in this thing knowing what to expect or have a general idea of at least we like similar things,
Right.
And let me make this distinction too, because when people say compatible, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are exactly alike.
Who said that?
It means that you mesh. If that makes sense.
Does that boil down to understanding?
Yes, I mean, and that only comes by way of communication. We have to have conversations about the things that we're compatible with. So,
Right.
so we've covered the moral values, moral or spiritual values. We've covered the social. We've covered the financial. We covered the sexual, and then the last one, this one can fluctuate, but I always say education.
Right.
I just.
No, I get that.
With my experience working with couples, there's a struggle when you have one person. When I say education, I'm not necessarily just talking about degrees.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
You don't necessarily have to have a master's or a bachelor's to be educated or be considered educated.
I understand.
If you're a person that loves to learn, you could throw them in any circle and they can make it,
Right.
because they are well learned, they're educated, right? So if you have two people who love knowledge, they're gonna fare better than one who's okay with not knowing anything.
Don't marry no dummy.
Right.
I know of some situations like that.
Yeah, and it puts a strain on the relationship, man. It puts a strain on the relationship. But this topic, well, as soon as I saw it, and this is before the invitation,
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm listening to this one. Because I normally bowl on Tuesday night, but I was going to have my headphones on listening to this one because I wanted to see what the feedback was going to be, because this is a common thing, and it's because what we're talking about now, they don't realize, one, that they're not compatible. And now you're in it, and you're going, crap.
Right.
Man, this is good,
But that
Yeah.
but
right.
that but.
Yeah, and then there's something deeper too, and of course, we'll get into that too, because that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
It's a loaded question, and I believe in getting to the root of the problem.
You gonna have to talk about it tonight, man.
Yeah,
I came to listen tonight. I did.
We're gonna get into
I hope
it.
y'all got y'all listening ears on tonight. I came to listen.
But think about that. Listen to the question. Why isn't the person you're so compatible with not good enough? So if you all are meeting in all those areas of compatibility, that person's still not good enough?
But why?
Because that's an internal issue.
Oh,
Come on, somebody.
That has nothing to do with that person.
Yeah, nothing to do with that person.
It could be you.
No, it is you.
Somebody is you.
No, it is you.
Okay.
Because think about what we just said. You're compatible.
Right.
You are compatible. You all line up in all those major areas, but you're still not satisfied.
Gotcha.
That's an internal issue. That's not an external issue.
Okay.
And unfortunately, all of us at some point in our lives, we want to blame something external for the internal dysfunction we're feeling.
Always. From person to person, to situation to
Right,
situation.
right. We don't want to look at ourselves and self-analyze. We don't want to take a self-analysis and say, you know what? Why do I do this?
Right.
Why am I thinking this way? We'll blame it on, I'll blame it on you in a minute because that absolves me of any responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So
It's easier.
oh, definitely.
It takes some pressure off of you. I mean, you got pressure on you.
Because we all have that habit of trying to make the world change around us so we don't have to. And that's unfortunate because we put unnecessary pressure and unrealistic expectations on other people. I cannot make my wife happy. My wife has to already be happy. I only enhance what she currently has.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? She has to choose, just like I have to choose to be happy. Now, I'm not saying that she may not have some behaviors that I don't agree with, but I still choose to be happy.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes we really, really don't value that gift God gave us called free will. We don't really value that.
It's funny you said that, Jim, because like when I was growing up, I used to think that if you was with someone and you were compatible, that means you have to do everything together.
No.
I like your wife on your hip.
No.
It wasn't until I got older, and so I realized that, man, you know what? My wife needs to have her own little things that she likes to do.
True.
And I need to have my own little things.
That's right.
And
I'm glad you said that. And not to this shameless plug, but I wrote these things called relationship principles.
Okay.
10 relationship principles, and they are this: live by godly principles. That's the first one. Make your spouse your priority. That's the second principle. Communication and compliance. See, that's key.
Can you stay there a little while?
Communication. See, a lot of us talk a lot.
Yeah.
But we're not complying with the information that we just discussed. So the conflict still persists.
This actually is something that I've interjected into our talks when we talk about relationships, and I want to give credit where credit is due. When I speak about complying, because complying is what, Jimmy?
It's communication and compliance. Compliance is I'm adhering to the information that I just received.
Absolutely.
So if my wife says, babe, it really does bother me that you keep leaving your shoes all over the place. And I go, baby, you know what? I understand. It bothers you that I leave my shoes on the floor, but I never pick my shoes up.
Right.
Do you think we're going to have that conversation again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Right.
Until it's fixed.
So she communicated very well. I understood her, but I'm choosing not to comply with her request, which is going to cause conflict. And so that's what we tend to do in relationships. So the fourth one is display mutual respect. Now, this one is key because when we are emotionally charged in our relationships, we tend to lose respect for the person that we're in a disagreement with. And when you're disrespectful to each other in a relationship, resentment is going to creep in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So display mutual respect. And then my favorite is self-analyze. Be willing to say, is it me?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Don't too many people do that.
Entertain that thought. Like,
That's hard for us men.
what could I have done differently in that scenario?
Ooh, boy.
What could I have said differently?
But for some, don't sit there too long, because some harness that and they take it on and they beat themselves up in situations. That's a whole nother thing.
Well, see, I said self-analyze, not beat up yourself. See, self-analyzing is me really stopping for a moment, replay the situation in my head, and ask questions.
Right.
Did I have to say it that way?
Right.
Did I have to use those words?
Because we know our significant other's triggers.
Right. And we pull them because we want to win.
Well, if you wouldn't have,
Right.
No, I told
you wanna feel like you won.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We want to feel like we won.
My wife ain't watching
That shot of dopamine.
Yeah, and see that it all boils down to maturity. Am I willing to win the argument and sacrifice the relationship, or would I rather sustain the relationship and lose the argument? You see what I'm saying?
No, I get
What
it.
is most valuable to you?
I
And
get
you can tell
Yeah.
what's most valuable to a person
Yeah.
when you're engaging with them. Just sit back and watch.
Just
Yeah.
sit back and watch it.
Yeah, when they start going in for the kill, they just want to win.
Yeah.
They don't care nothing about their relationship at that moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so we have to be able to self-analyze. Then my number 6 is commit to your marriage winning.
Break that down.
Commit to your marriage winning. So when we're dealing with people, and I don't care, these principles are not just isolated to marriage. They apply to any relationship.
Single
right?
people, listen now.
Right, single people too. So when I say commit to my marriage winning, commit to your friendship winning. What does that mean? When you're in a relationship, let's say me and my wife, it's a 3-dimensional thing, right? It's how I feel, that's one dimension, how she feels, the second dimension, and what's best for the relationship.
Wow.
Right? Now, if I'm only focused on how Jimmy feels, I may be neglecting how she feels, which is going to affect the relationship.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why we have to commit to the marriage winning. So if I'm more focused on the marriage winning, I'm not so focused on Jimmy winning.
Right. Man, come on. Somebody get that tonight, man.
Because think about this, guys. If someone is winning, someone is losing.
Okay.
Come on, man. I told you.
You see what I'm saying?
It's on the heart.
So we have to be mindful of that. If I'm winning the argument, she's losing, and she feels like she's losing. And what does the average person? Don't nobody want to feel like they losing, so she gonna come back because she want to win, right?
Right.
But if we were both saying, you know what, I know I felt this way, you said this, but what's ultimately going to be best for our relationship? What can I say or what can I do in this moment that's going to build up the relationship? Not my little ego,
Okay.
not my pride.
So is it one of those situations where you have a valid point, you're making your valid point, you're making a statement, but do you go back and clean it up because they have their heart on the line?
Well,
Or they have their ego on the line?
I'm glad you said that. I suggest that before you say it, it's clean.
I got you.
Does that make sense?
No. Say it
Okay.
again.
So you said you have a valid point. Your point can be valid, but it can come out very, very dangerous.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So before I say it, my mind has to register. Let me make sure
got
this
you.
comes out
I got you.
as least offensive as possible.
I'm guilty.
So hear me now, as least offensive as possible. See, that's another word, offensive. Offensive means I don't agree.
Yeah, pretty much. If you offend me, yeah.
I'm offended because I don't agree. I can't always stop you from being offended.
True.
But I can
Right.
cannot be malicious.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And
Right.
I got you.
I mean, how many people you know that are offended with the truth?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what you gonna do? What am I supposed to do with that? You don't like the truth. I mean,
truth is the truth.
Right.
You're
And
gonna
so-
do what you gotta do. With
But I
it.
guess when I think about it, because I've been in that situation, Jimmy, this is at home for me. When that ice is thin, I gotta really be careful about how I walk on it because I know how my wife is. She knows how I am. So it would be very easy for me to offend her. So now I'm like, okay, like I see what you're saying. Like before, I can't afford to clean up.
Right.
I gotta come in clean.
Right.
So I gotta be okay, babe. Now let's look at this from. I'm with you on that.
You see, one of the things I freed myself from trying not to offend people because that's impossible.
Right.
What I have graduated to is I'm definitely not going to be malicious. So I freed myself from this unnecessary stress.
Right.
I'm not going to say that what I have to say is not going to offend you. You may not agree or whatever the case may be. I don't have any control over that.
Right. As long as you have it in your, be
I got-
innocent in your mind.
I have nothing but goodwill in my heart toward you when I say what I'm saying. You know, and I try to make sure that the words that I'm saying would imply that I have good intentions. You see what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when we're in that heat of the moment, we can say some stuff that didn't sound loving. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and that didn't sound like you cared. That sounded like you wanted to win. you know, and I think sometimes we can be reckless with that. Number 7, protect the trust in your marriage. I often tell people, don't do anything that would cause your spouse to have
Distrust.
suspicion.
Wow.
I'll
Interesting.
give you all a scenario.
Yeah.
The barbershop that I used to go to, my wife went to the shop with me. We were running some errands, so I said, "Babe, just roll with me. Let me get the haircut, and then we'll finish our run, right?"
Yeah.
And so my phone rang, and so I said, "Babe, get that." And every dude in the barbershop was kind of like,
Right.
you know, looking at me and stuff.
Touch my phone, girl.
Right. And so my wife, you know, mentioned who it was, and I asked her to, you know, go ahead and answer it or whatever. So because it was kind of loud in the barbershop, she went out, and they were like, "Dude, your wife got your code to your phone?" I was kind of like, "Yeah, like, what's the problem?"
Right.
Right.
And so then it dawned on me. I was like, it ain't my wife I'm trying to keep on my phone. It's you I'm trying to keep on my phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My wife has her fingerprint in my phone.
Right.
Because I don't have anything to hide.
Right.
There we go.
Hear me talking about, ooh.
You see what I'm saying? I have nothing in my phone to hide. Baby, put your finger, because you never know. With what we do, and we're traveling, we're busy, we're moving, get access to it. Have access to that. I don't have anything to hide. And I think when we protect the trust in our marriage, we won't have anything to hide.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Or in our relationship. You may not be married, but I tell people this. People are like, well, we ain't married yet. Well, aren't you supposed to be building up to that?
Very true.
You know, like,
For the people that's watching, I know some new people came on. Listen, we're talking about tonight, man. If you're compatible, why isn't the person that you're compatible with good enough? We got Mr. Jimmy Rogers here giving some awesome nuggets, and he's giving you key principles.
Write this down.
Write these things down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 8, forgive each other quickly. Now, that's important.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, at some point in your relationship, y'all gonna piss each other off.
Me and Trick talking about this today. I said forgiveness.
You
gotta
you-
have forgiveness.
You have to learn how to do it quickly. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, when you let stuff fester, it builds up resentment.
Yeah.
Too much resentment starts to disconnect you emotionally.
Yep.
And once you're emotionally disconnected, anything can happen then.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
That's how.
So you have to deal with it at the root of it, which is, if and when my wife offends me, I have to be willing to forgive her quickly, so I don't give the enemy
Thank you.
an opportunity to creep in.
Because he would do
You
it.
see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So we have to learn how to forgive quickly. Like, you know, that bothered me. And you know, and in forgiving quickly, that doesn't necessarily mean that your feelings are no longer hurt about what they did or said. What forgiveness means is, I'm no longer holding you hostage for that thing. Because here's what I found. When someone refuses to forgive, normally the person that they're mad at, they've gone on with their life.
Absolutely.
And you're the only one sitting there angry, and this thing is killing you internally.
Holding.
Well,
You
I
see
know
what I'm
that
saying?
once you forgive, it clears your mind to be
Yes.
that way you can go ahead and find resolution.
It frees you up for all of that. But you can't find resolution, you can't find peace, you can't find any of those things as long as you're holding that grudge in, right?
Yep.
Number 9, control your emotions.
Woo.
You know, control your emotions. Have control over your emotions. And this is a practice that my wife and I have. When we're at the height of our emotions, we don't engage in a conversation. Because I'm at the peak. I'm at the peak of how I'm feeling. I have to wait till I calm down so I can have that conversation where the words will come out clean.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I don't have to go back and try to fix it. You know. And listen, when you're reckless and you do it anyway, man, listen, that.
Some serious cleaning up.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Cleaning up.
Cleaning up all night. Bro.
Right. I mean, so we have to be careful with that. And then the last one, number 10, have shared goals and activities. I am a firm believer that if you are in a serious relationship or you're married, You and your spouse should have goals and activities that you do together. I do believe that you still should have some stuff that you do on your own because we all need a break every now and again. But you all should establish some goals together. Hey, you know what? First 5 years or first year we were married, we were making this much. You know, let's conquer something together. Because when we conquer something together, what happens is that it strengthens our bond.
Strengthens our bond.
It strengthens our bond because we know we can overcome some things as a unit. You know what I'm saying? We all like to say these words, ride or die, right?
Ride or die. It's a learned slogan.
Well, what is a ride or die? A ride or die is a person not who will have your back even when you stupid. See, we've mischaracterized ride or die.
Man, you gotta break that down because there's a lot of that going on, man.
Right? That's stupidity.
Yeah.
Like you do something dumb.
that boy.
I'm not supporting that. You know what I mean? Now I'm just as dumb as you are. I mean, no, that's not what ride or die really is.
Man, you gotta
ride or die
tell
is
these women this, man.
Ride or die for men and women is I have somebody on my team when I'm at my lowest. They're not gonna leave me.
Yeah.
Don't be following a foolish man.
Right.
Sitting down.
Right.
Something just don't feel right. But we
right. You know, he's selling drugs, and I'm going. You know, I'm gonna let him do it at my house. Like,
Right.
She ride or die. Man, no, you dumb. All y'all gonna go to jail. You know, it's stuff like that we call ride or. No, ride or die is when you're at your lowest, that person is there to pick you up. When you're at your peak, that person is still there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That person is willing to work with you through it all.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Work with you through it all. You all are a unit through it all, right? Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, because all of us at some point or another may make some bad decisions and your spouse look at you like, you know, that was dumb about the rock. But I'm not going to leave you for it.
Right.
But don't do that again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand it from that perspective. But I'm talking about, you know, we want that ride or die in the sense of I want somebody who I can grow with. You know, unfortunately, too many people are in this mode of come up. I want to hook up with someone that's a come up.
That's already
This generation, that's what it's about right now.
But I normally ask the question. I say, well, why would that person want to be with you? Because if they're a come up, what are you to them?
Okay.
But I'm gonna ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it necessarily? And people, the topic is, why isn't the person you're so compatible with not good enough? I had some people I was talking to not too long ago, and y'all know I'm not afraid to give a personal situation and to put myself on the table just so somebody can learn something about themselves, something about life, something about people, because that's the thing. That's how God does it. It's Trinity, whatever you want to call it. I had a young lady that I was talking to some time ago, and I mentioned to her that I desire to have somebody in my life of a certain status. She had been, she worked for an airline before. Okay, she was doing pretty well. She went from doing that to working for a department store. Nothing wrong with that, but there's levels to everything. You know, just like you don't want to talk to somebody that's got bad credit or however, dealing with their lives any kind of way, taking drugs or whatever. There's levels. So on the level that I'm looking forward to achieving, I decided to talk to a woman that was on a certain level, and she didn't understand that. And I doubled back and I apologized to her. And I said, you know what? I apologize because I don't want you to feel like I was judging you. I just felt like I was afraid to venture into the situation because I didn't want to miss out on anything else in life that God may have been putting out there for me. And is there necessarily, because we're talking about people trying to come up,
Right.
is there necessarily something wrong with somebody looking for a compatibility, somebody being in their tax bracket, or potentially not even being in their tax bracket, and looking for somebody in a higher tax bracket?
Well, okay. The answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, it could be something wrong with it, and no, it may not be anything wrong with it.
Okay.
Now let me elaborate.
Okay.
You have to ask yourself this question. if I'm seeking a woman who's in a higher tax bracket than me, I'm seeking her for a specific reason, because she brings, in my mind, value to the table.
Right.
What I'm not recognizing is she's actually bringing more value than I am to the table. Now,
There's a lot of that going on.
what is the benefit for her? And I'm not saying that she may rule me out because I'm not in the same tax bracket, because I could be compatible with her in other areas, where she feels that's important for her.
Right.
So from that perspective, no, it wouldn't be an issue, because we're compatible in 5 of the areas. And again, remember I said compatibility doesn't necessarily mean that you're the same. It means that you can mesh.
And have understanding.
So check it out. She makes 6 figures. I make, 4 figures.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. And we're gonna go with me looking for a woman.
Okay.
But I'm not necessarily looking for. Let's just say I wasn't necessarily looking for a woman who was making more money than me. I was actually looking for a woman who had a understanding of money like I do.
Right.
See, because I could be making $80,000 a year, but I'm living like I make $280,000 a year because I understand money. And she could be making $1 million a year, but don't understand money, and she's actually worse off than I am.
Yes, sir.
See, you see what I'm saying?
I've seen
So
it.
we have to make sure that we're going into this thing for the right reasons, not for a come up. We're compatible. Even though our numbers don't match, we're compatible here. We both understand money, and we can now put our monies together and do something magnificent.
Right.
But most people, when they come up, they ain't even trying to put their money together. They just trying
That's
to
what
win
I
off
noticed.
your money.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's that thing that I'm dealing with, and I see that that's a trend now, and it's bringing a lot of stress, because at first, you're not really being truthful up front to that person. I see you as a come up.
Right.
Now you trying to highlight some other attributes that you really don't care about.
Right.
It's the checkbook that you really after. You know what I'm saying? And once you all get into that relationship, that person starts to sense like, am I this person's ATM machine?
Right.
You know?
It has to come to fruition. You got to. They're gonna see it eventually.
Yeah, it is. And so going back to that question, we were talking about why isn't a person you're so compatible with not good enough? We started off the conversation by saying that's an internal issue. So if I'm compatible with my wife in all of the major areas, we're compatible spiritually, we're compatible socially, educational, financial, sexually. We're compatible in all those areas, but she just ain't enough.
Yeah.
That's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's something wrong with me. And I have to dig deep to figure out, why am I not satisfied with a good woman?
What would you? What do you think? What would you say is the first step for somebody that has hit this brick, that hit this exact question? Why isn't the person you're so compatible with not good enough? What would be the first step after they hit that brick?
They recognize
And
it.
they recognize it. And they have to look in the mirror. What is the first step you think they should take?
To self-analyze. To look at themselves and say, okay, this person is great all the way across the board. Why am I not happy? I mean, I'm talking about in the important areas. See, the superficial stuff, and we have to recognize that.
Right.
We have to understand what value is and what superficial is. You know what I'm saying?
That's a difference.
There's a big difference. So when you start talking about hooking up, and right now in relationships, we have a lot of what we call blended families. Like already, back in the day we used to call them ready-made families.
Right.
Like
Ready-made.
right. You got a woman with kids, you got a man with kids, right? Do you want to marry a person who don't love your kids?
Hell no.
You understand what I'm saying?
Same.
Right.
So that's an area that you need to know that you and this person are compatible with, right? Do you want to
There's
marry?
no compromise on it.
You see what I'm saying? But do you know people still do that because
Yes.
they find they may have the financial security, they may be living in that, they may have the social security, they living in that gated community that they wanted to live in. He's driving or she's driving the right this or that. and they literally don't account for that.
Yeah.
You know, and so now, let's say you got a man, he loves your kids like they're his own. He provides, he protects, he's a spiritual leader. He does all the things right. He treats you like a queen. But you know, he don't dress with a certain swag.
Yeah.
I've
Right?
seen it.
That's a
He don't dress with a certain swag.
I've seen it.
And let me tell you something, and I say this with all respect to any woman that's watching this, but hear me, listen to what I'm saying, and don't get defensive. If you don't possess the ability to inspire him to dress better, it's on you. Cause listen,
Really?
think about it.
If he ain't got it, ain't he don't got it, he don't have it, he don't
Man,
have it. I
man,
mean,
check this out. I'm gonna just say this. I've always had a certain style of dress, you know. But when I met Rachel, you know, she had what she liked too, you know. And I didn't always agree with what she liked. Now I'm like, I don't do that, right? But because I wanted the marriage to win, I said, you know what? Let me go.
Okay.
Let me tell you what
Try it out.
I never would wear. Skinny leg.
Oh man, listen.
You know,
you took it right out of my mouth, man.
them tapered leg. You know, now I'm not
You took
gonna
it
wear
right out of my mouth.
them tight.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, I bought some outfits and the legs were tapered. She was like, "Ooh, baby," you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, all right, then."
Okay.
I like that response. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From my wife. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
guess what I did?
Yeah.
I bought several more outfits that were cut like that. Right.
That was tapered.
Right.
Not the skinny jeans.
No,
Tapered.
they were tapered, right? You know, they had
Okay.
the skinny taper, but you know, not
my
the tight
ex,
ones.
My ex-wife wanted me to wear the skinny jeans.
Nah,
They
nah.
look like leggings.
No, see, no.
Like, man, I'm
Right.
Well, back then I was in my 30s, but
Right.
you know.
No, you know, but what I realized was that was not a principle based thing. That was a preference based thing, right? I wasn't violating a principle when she asked me to wear that.
Right.
That was just a preference. I didn't really care for it, but
Yeah.
when I wore 'em and I got
saw
the
her
response,
reaction.
yeah, I was like, man,
Yeah.
okay, you know. And so it's things like that, you know, that as a mature man now, I'm learning, man, just make the adjustment.
Make the
If
adjustment.
she's not asking you to violate any principles,
Sometimes, yeah. Why not?
Just
I
do
think-
it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to get out of our own way sometimes.
Because one thing I will say about a woman, when you dating a woman or you marry a woman, when she find out what you like, she will start to cater.
Right.
I've seen if I say, hey, you know, I love when you wear your hair up. So somehow this time we go out, it'll be in the updo. Or I say, man, that dress right there, whoo, man, couldn't keep my eyes off you all night. Then next thing I'll go and plot, I'll see another one like that, another dress like that. Where's she buy that? Right. 'Cause slowly but surely, your woman is like, okay, I know what he likes.
Why is
So
she
let me-
doing that though?
Right.
She first of all, I feel like she cares about what I think.
And she
And
ultimately wants to please.
she wants to please me.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when we ultimately want to please our spouse, we will alter
Cater.
some of our likes or dislikes. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Because now I realize if my wife is happy, that's what I'm trying to. That's my goal anyway.
Right.
To make her feel safe and happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what they want. Security and happiness.
Right. I want her to feel safe and happy. So I can do something minor like that, like buy a different cut jeans.
Right.
Okay.
Get my little haircut like this.
This
my
haircut,
beard like that.
this haircut was inspired by my wife.
Hey.
Oh, really?
I ain't never
All right,
had
Miss
wear a
Rachel.
mohawk. All right, Miss Rachel. You know what I mean?
Salute.
So I was like, I said, baby, I'm 50.
Yeah.
A mohawk, really?
Yeah, right.
So I get the mohawk, and Mel was like, dude, this suits you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you like that.
so I'm walking out like, okay, this suits me, all right. And then I get home, she like, babe, I like that. I'm like, oh, do that again, man.
Right. I know
Do what
that's
you did.
right.
Right, do what you did last
That might
time.
be my new look for a little while. Shall I-
So the deal is, if she and I are compatible, and I'm still not happy with her, I have to question me. Like, okay, what is going on with me? why am I not happy with this? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And honestly answer that question, because the reality is it's an internal thing. If you growing up saying I don't want to be poor, right? And of course you know you've already destined in your heart you're not going to be a criminal. So you do the work. You do the work, you put in the time, and you build a good life for yourself, and you go, man, I'm still not happy.
Yeah.
You know, that's internal.
internal.
Yeah,
That's something that's
something to
internal. So we have to really be willing to examine ourselves and say, hey, why do I have this mindset? Because listen, if it's in your head, it's gonna manifest in your actions.
Right.
You know, and so I guarantee, even if we haven't done it ourselves, I know I've blown some good relationships.
Yeah.
Because of what was going on in my head.
I think the average man has at some point in time.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and so the deal is I was so immature I didn't know what a good woman really was.
Thank you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I had no real idea of what a truly good woman was until I matured. And once I matured, I'm like, okay, she ain't gonna, there is no such thing as a perfect woman.
Right.
No.
No such thing as a
Or
perfect
man.
man. Or man, right.
Right.
A man or woman. But can I find the perfect woman for me?
Absolutely.
You said that earlier.
Yes.
You said, I got the perfect wife for me. I ain't saying she's perfect. You know, I'm just saying we are compatible to the degree that even her imperfections help me get better.
Right.
It's funny you say that, Jim, because I notice how like one thing I love about my wife, she'll kind of, it's like if she doesn't, like, let's just say something that she's not really into, she doesn't like it. So then it's like, but she knows I like it. She still will surprise me and buy me something that has to do with that.
Right.
Like, for instance, let's just start like you know, I like to go to the gun range or something like that. She does not care for that. But then I can be like, man, I need this new so and so for my gun, and then all of a sudden I come home and it's there. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah,
I know you could care, you would not go to a gun range, but somehow you made it to the gun range and bought that because you know I like that.
Well,
just to kind of say, babe, I support what you like.
Your
Right.
wife is, that example tells me that she has a level of maturity
Man,
that is needed in a relationship because it ain't about her.
she has a lot of understanding for a young woman.
Because it's not about her. She's like, this, just because it's not what I like doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't like it. You know,
Okay.
I mean, I don't wear dresses, but I buy my wife dresses.
You
do?
understand?
Yeah.
That's something I've never done. I've always wanted to do that, man.
Dude, listen.
Just go in the store and just, I always want to do that magical thing. She come home from work. She go in the bedroom, dress laid out, instructions for her where to meet me, this, that.
All right, Case.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's a simple thing to do, bro.
Yeah.
It really. Let me tell you how to start out.
Start out, man. I'm doing
Start
that.
out with you and your girl going out, and
Yeah.
you see her eyeballing something,
Okay.
right? She's eyeballing it, and she go, "Ooh, man, I wish I could afford to get that," you know.
Yeah.
And you know, you keep on walking by, check, note to self.
Check.
Next day, next week, I done bought it. You know what I'm saying?
What if you don't go to the mall? What if you don't do that? What if you don't?
So what I'm
Stroll
saying
like
is,
that.
you should.
You should.
Right.
It's something that she won't.
Yeah, you should. You know what I'm saying? And then, I'm serious. I think sometimes we get so comfortable and complacent within our relationships because I promise you, you were doing extra stuff when you were trying to win her.
Boy, what you say?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You hear me,
You see what I'm
Josh?
saying?
You're right.
We all were. I mean, they were too.
Yeah.
You're right.
You don't think they were
Yeah.
going out their way to make sure they could secure the deal with us?
Yeah, you're
yes,
right.
they were. But
Representative.
when we get into that relationship, we get a little complacent, and we don't do the things that we should do to maintain. Our old man told me this. He said, "Boy, the same things you did to get her, gonna need these same things you need to do to keep her."
But you know we got that representative that we kick in
Oh, yeah.
full effect. Come
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, we all lie. We all lie. And even in counseling, man, I mean, the average counselor tell you the first 3-4 sessions, I already know y'all trying to get me to be on your side. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, they're not gonna really just be totally transparent. I'm gonna be transparent about what you doing,
Right.
But I ain't gonna be transparent about what I'm doing. We all understand that. So that's just human behavior. So we all have that representative. You know, I'm gonna paint myself as the good guy, not the villain.
Right.
You know,
And that's where I think we have to watch that compatibility thing. Because when you first meet people, you know, they're putting their best foot forward. You're like, oh, we compatible. And people kind of jump in this little thing like that, like they say, what is chemistry? Is what they call it.
Yeah,
And nothing wrong with chemistry.
You can manufacture that though. When I was playing football, man, we had to do profiles for the team, right? And so, you know, when they give you gold digging classes,
Time I go, oh yeah.
Gold digging classes, y'all.
because this is the trend, right?
Right.
So everything on my profile was
Hey, hold on, you played football, right?
yeah. Everything
On what level?
I went up to arena, and then I played a little. I did a little bit of Canadian League, and then I tried out for NFL and tore my quadricep. So,
Okay.
but long and short.
Hey, that is.
But yeah, I had to
I just
do-
say, I just wondered if I had an NFL player
Yeah.
in there. I said, come on,
I had
player,
to-
sign something for me.
You know, we had to do these profiles, so I lied about everything on my profile,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now I'm moving to a totally brand new city, Milwaukee. I'm in Milwaukee. I'm like, I don't know nobody here. So if I met a woman there and she started just magically talking about stuff that I know was on that profile, I'm already laughing internally.
Right.
Like, I already know she done read my profile. She trying to act like she don't know who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Ladies,
right.
pay attention to this now. We're giving y'all game we shouldn't be giving you.
But I said that to say this. We manufacture. We'll have that representative coming out. We can manufacture that we're concerned and we're this and that. But time tells everything, man.
Time
tells everything. I'm all about consistency. See, I hear you. You know what they say? Actions speak louder than words.
Do y'all hear this, man?
But we talk more than we do.
Yep.
Man.
You absolutely
Time will
Tell.
It's
It's gonna snitch on you. Time gonna snitch on you.
you can hold out long enough.
That's it.
You will see the truth.
Just wait. Just keep observing. Don't fall. Don't get emotionally wrapped up too soon. Women have a habit of falling victim to words.
Eve in the garden. Come on now.
Their ears are their kryptonite. You know, they hear something that you got that dude with that golden tongue. He's saying everything that you love. They will get us. She just got to look a certain way.
Would you say, man?
We all about the
would you
sight.
say-
Right.
Would you say that's most women's love language, words of affirmation?
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Most of them,
Yeah,
right?
most, yeah.
If not their first, at least they say.
Words of affirmation, you know, again, because a woman's natural desires is to feel safe and secure. So if you're saying something that's going to make her feel safe and secure, or you're saying something that's going to affirm her, you're going to get her attention.
Absolutely.
You know, so if you're coming across like you're supportive and you're all this, you're going to get her attention, you know. And just like with us, she just got to look the part, and she already got our attention.
Right.
And heaven forbid if she starts affirming us. We're done then.
I learned though, man. You can't give too much I say security. Is basically what you're saying, making her feel, giving her words of affirmation and just building up. You also have to get that security part to get that balance, because if you don't, you'll find yourself in the friend zone.
True. Well, first of all, let me just say this. How can I make a woman feel super secure if we don't even know each other yet? I don't even know. Like, first of all, let me get to know you first. My wife, Rachel, the questions I was asking her up front, she was like, whoa. I'm like, I'm not having no shallow conversation with you. I already knew where I was trying to go.
Jimmy, is that why a lot of men, when they meet women, because they know what you're saying, it's like, well, you know, I got that, my house is, 4-bedroom out here, I got that a new Benz. It's like you're telling her stuff that will make her feel secure.
Yeah, you catching her attention. And most guys know not to say it in a certain way to sound braggadocious. It's like, so what is
I just want to meet that woman I can put in that house with me.
Yeah, you know, that 4-bedroom getting a little lonely, you know, with them 3 baths. You know,
right.
And we all do the same thing.
Right.
What do you think she's trying to figure out when she goes, so what do you do?
Right.
She already trying to, you know, she trying to figure out if you gonna meet her criteria. If you say I'm working sanitation, she gonna be like, okay then, and she gonna try to end that conversation real quick. You understand? I mean, we all do it, you know, and so we just have to be mindful of the representative and really come to the understanding that if I'm with someone that is a genuinely good woman, right? And we're compatible, because that's why I told you the question was loaded, because the question gave you no reason to feel how you feel.
Right.
Because it's somebody you are compatible with.
Yeah.
If you're you already physically attracted to them, y'all compatible in all those major areas, but you still not satisfied. That's a personal issue. You know what I'm saying? And if the listeners don't hear anything, please hear this. If you find yourself in that situation, take the time honestly to ask yourself the question. And if you have some wise friends in your circle,
which everyone should.
Yeah, you know, not the ones that's just gonna co-sign on everything you do, but the ones that's gonna be honest with you.
Really?
Go to them and say, why can't I seem to just have a good relationship? Because you know Bob is good, you know he's this and that, and they'll tell you the truth.
Right. Talk to somebody that's gonna tell you the truth. Don't talk to somebody that's gonna tell you what you want to hear.
That's it, because man, listen, the truth is gonna set you free.
Yep.
Can I just say one thing? Because it's funny to me. Because this is a guy that I know, right? So
I know.
every woman, you know, that he meets, he wants to compare them. And here's my thing. Just going back to what you were saying, Jimmy. Good woman, right? But she doesn't have that IG figure, right? So he's like, nah, that ain't it. But this is even with like what you said, man. Realistically, a lot of women who are not all women, I'm not saying all, but a lot of women that he's looking at, they've had augmentation, right? So a real woman can't even compare. You can't compete with that, and you got to be real.
Man, I'm glad you said that.
You got to be real.
Also, don't ask her to be something that you're not.
Oh,
Now I could see a guy who's big on fitness wanting a woman that's big on fitness.
Okay.
You see, because honestly, if he's big on fitness, he can't have just no average woman.
Right.
Because she's not gonna understand, dude. I mean, you always want to
to
prep your
gym
meals.
again.
You always want to
Prep your meals.
Right. You
That's
know,
true.
she's not gonna understand that, right?
Right,
So
right.
that's an area of compatibility. You see what I'm saying? But I'm talking about you got a heavyset dude that want to find chick. Like, really? Like, what if she don't like big dudes?
And you got it though. And then you
know
have,
what I'm saying?
you have the guys that say, listen, man, my checkbook is just as big as his muscles is.
Well, I mean,
What
don't
about
get
them
me.
guys?
So hear me now. Hear me. Here's what I'm saying. There are men out there who may be slender in build, but they are attracted to heavy plus size women.
Right. Gotcha.
Right?
I got you.
But that plus size woman is attracted to that little dude. So we don't have an issue there.
No issue there.
That's not the issue.
We're good there.
What I'm talking about is you demanding her to be something that you're not.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Oh, I want a virgin, but
Man, come on.
you not one.
All right. Drop that zero and get with this hero.
You know, I mean, those are the unrealistic things that
I've seen.
you know, we ask of people, and it's like that's so unfair.
I've seen people say, I have to have someone who has been to this school and this school and this school, but they have not even went to school themselves.
Right.
And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
hold on, man.
Again, that's unrealistic expectations. I mean,
Oh.
that's crazy. I mean, but unfortunately, that's what people do. So now, just think about that. Those were your requirements, right? And let's just say you matched up with everything you required. You got that person to have this certain degree that you didn't qualify. You don't even have. You have this person that's making 6 figures or 7 figures, and you don't. And so now you all are in this committed relationship.
Okay.
And guess what starts to happen?
What's that?
That person realized that you ain't the one. It's like, man, what?
Or a woman start wanting you to do those 6-figure things.
You see what I'm saying?
And you like, oh, well,
Man, true story. Since you were talking about being transparent, I lived in Dallas, Texas, and I met this lady, and I should have known. Well, I did know. She lived in Valley Ranch, and if you know anything about Dallas, Texas, Valley Ranch is a upper echelon type area. Right. And when I tell you, conversation wise, we had a blast, right? But I just felt so inferior because it was like, this woman has everything.
Right. What can you do for her?
And that's, man, I'm serious. I was so insecure. Like, what can I do for her?
Man, I always go back to being a man.
But man, listen, even though she told me, this is what she said to me. These were her words. Her words were to me, I don't need you for me to feel financially secure. That's already on lock.
Mm-hmm.
She said, but what I do need is someone whom I feel I can trust, someone that will protect me, and someone that will love me. And she said, those characteristics you possess, but I couldn't get past the finances. I couldn't get past the finances. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like I was broke,
Yeah.
but I didn't have my pockets. I was like, man,
right.
she taking me to art exhibits, and I'm like,
People.
I mean, what?
People equate.
I'm looking at the price of
man.
these the paintings.
You start counting her coins.
And like, she like ordered. I'm like, yo, let me get that one, please. And I'm like, that thing.
So you count.
That was $8,000. I'm like, I'm sitting there going, man, what can I get her for her birthday? And she buying $8,000 painting. I mean, I was literally,
because when my bank account set up,
man, I was like, nah. And I told her that. And my friends at that time, they dogged me out. They was like, you big dummy. I was like, dude, listen. For me, I felt like I would have been using her.
I get you.
You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
And that's how I felt. Now, in my mind, my heart, that's not what I intended, because she was the only person I was talking to. I didn't care about anybody else. I was, but I just couldn't get past it. Okay, my birthday came along. She said, and both of us we're car enthusiasts. She's a real gearhead. I was like, what? I mean, so we were talking about our dream cars. Back then, I wanted a Mercedes-Benz 500 SL, right? So, we talking about it. She had a big body Benz. She had one of the big body Lexuses, and then she had a
460.
She had a coupe, a Lexus coupe. So right. I mean, so you clearly. So my birthday rolls around, and so she goes, "Hey, I gotta get my car service. You want to ride with me?" I was like, "Okay, great." So we drive from Valley Ranch to the north side of town to the Mercedes-Benz place, right? So we pull up. They're like, "Hey," they call her by her name. I'm like, "Oh, wow."
Right.
They know her, right?
She know.
And so on the showroom floor was the car that I like.
Car that you want.
And she says, "Look, there's your dream car." And I was like, "Wow." She said, "You want to drive it?" And I was like, "For what?"
Right.
I'm like, "For what?" No, I'm that kind of guy.
Right.
No, I don't want to drive it. I can't afford it. Even if you bought it, I still couldn't afford it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm that kind of guy.
That's me.
Yeah, I can get in it, but can I afford it? You know what I'm saying? And so long, she was like, "Oh, babe, go and drive it." So the man stopped the turning wheel, stopped it. They put the ramp down. He backed the car out. I drove that car. The whole time I'm driving this car, I'm sitting there going, "This is nice, but why am I driving this car?"
Right.
So I pulled the car back up, pulled the car back into the parking lot, and the guy was like, "What do you think?" I was like, "Amazing." And he was like, "Well, hey," gave me the keys. He was like, "It's yours." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Oh, she's taking care of it for you."
No, Jimmy, don't tell me this.
I did like this. I was like, "Oh no."
Did y'all hear that?
I was like, "Oh no,
Oh,
no."
man.
Dude, listen, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me.
Oh.
Because I told her, I said, "Listen,
Man.
every bit of my manhood
Yeah.
was tested, right?
Literally, yeah.
I mean, just gone. Like, she just did this like it was nothing. You know what I mean? Like, she had to tell me, man.
I totally get that.
We're gonna have to save up for a few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I felt that way, and I was mature enough to let her know I can't get past this. Now, I was honest enough with her to tell her, and so that it dissolved because I just really felt I wasn't going to be able to please her in all of those areas.
Own up to that.
Right, and so
Because you'll feel like dealing with her, you'll be having to buy the car by dealing with her.
Oh, what can I get her that that she would be impressed with,
Yeah.
And that's the kind of guy I am, like my wife now. I'm like, I want to get stuff that impresses her. I don't want to get stuff that just say I gave you something.
Right.
I want to get something that she really wanted.
I get
And
that.
so I think when we're talking about this topic here, compatibility, we're talking about if you're compatible and you're not satisfied, that's internal. That was an internal issue I had. That woman was great across the board,
Oh man.
but I just was like, I can't do it.
Was that like a not being equally yoked in that area? You feel like?
No, that was just me being immature.
Okay.
That's literally what it was. Because we were literally compatible in all of those areas, even in finances. We were compatible because I understood finances.
Right.
That's why she wasn't concerned. I wasn't going to be a detriment to her.
Right.
I wasn't
She
going to be
was
a
that man you were.
Right. I wasn't going to be a liability to her because I had just had a home built.
You turned down a brand new car.
Right.
Clearly.
I just had a brand new home built,
Right.
and she was impressed. She was like, "Oh, this is a nice home." But I went to her house. I was like, "No, this is a house,"
Right.
But she never looked at it that way. But it was just me and my immaturity that couldn't handle it. You know what I'm saying? But back to this question, it wasn't that she wasn't good enough. It was she was too good.
I get that.
You see what I'm saying? She was too good. I was like, right. And I wasn't on that level in my mind.
Mentally, yeah.
In my
Mentally.
mind, I wasn't on that level. And she kept trying to affirm me. Yes, you are. She said, Jimmy, I don't need you for that. You know what I'm saying? She was like, that's not the area where I would need you. She said, where I need you is faithfulness, loving, and protecting. And she said, you do that effortlessly.
Tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be okay if your mind was there, if you were there mentally? Would it be okay for you to walk in that situation?
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I say this all the time.
Yeah. I mean, if Jimmy of today, single Jimmy today, met that same woman, we would have been married now for 30 years.
Because your mentality,
40 years, yeah.
fortitude,
Right.
and all that have been there.
Right. Because what she was a team player. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't do it just because she had it to do. You see what I'm saying? That's not why she did it. Sometimes people can buy you stuff just because they can.
Just because they can.
Right. It's not because they're connected to you. I mean, I just got it. You know how to do it in the bar.
Right.
Everybody running around.
Right.
He don't know none of it. He don't know anybody in there, right? He just got it. So he does stuff like that. And I think we have to be mindful that when you have a person that's dealing with this situation, you need to look inwardly and say, what's going on with me?
Yeah.
Why am I behaving this way? Why am I thinking this way? And be okay with the answer that you get, because sometimes it's going to challenge you.
Do you think somebody that's dealing with that, man, and that's willing to realize that and admit to it, get professional help?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And that's something in our black community, we have to get to the point where we're making it okay to get help. And I often say this to people. I'm like, when your teeth hurt, what do?
Go to the dentist.
You go to the
Get
dentist.
help.
Before your teeth start hurting, do you get your teeth cleaned? Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
When your eyes are not performing like they used to, what do? You go to the optometrist, right? When your car's not running like it used to, you go to the mechanic, right?
Absolutely.
When your clothes are wearing down and they don't fit no more, you go buy new clothes, right? But when it comes to our relationships and it's not functioning the way that it should function, we never consider, you know what, let me go get some help with this.
Right.
And that's so to our detriment. We have to get into that mode of saying, I want to be well-rounded in my relationships or my marriage.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, get professional help, because you can't figure it out.
Right. So we're saying that you have a shirt on that says
Relationship real talk.
relationship real talk. I said that I want to slow that down so he can say it slow because I want y'all to get that. Jimmy has an awesome situation. So Jimmy, do you do relationship counseling and you also do
individual counseling, and we do workshops. We even work with corporations. Corporate America calls it team building.
Okay.
But we call it relationship building. A team will never thrive if there isn't a relationship with the players on the team. So we work with corporations too. But yes, we do individual,
okay.
And then we do couples counseling.
Okay.
And I'm one of those people, again, I get to the root of the problem. I'll let you vent and give me all the fruit.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. That's why I wanted to bring this guy on, man.
Yeah, I think, we all need to vent at some point, but we're going to get to the root of the problem so you can actually come to the resolution that you need so you can grow.
Absolutely.
And I think all of us need, we all are growing. It's a process.
Right.
Even though I do this and I've been doing this now for 15 years, I'm still growing and learning.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? This is an ongoing process. And so I challenge your viewers, to not look at this from a negative standpoint. I don't need no counsel. I don't want nobody in my business. Look at it from this standpoint. If what you have been doing has not been successful,
Come on now. So wasting your time.
try something different.
Try it different.
Do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Try it in a different way.
And unfortunately, when you don't have it in your reference bank, you're going to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You can yell at a person all day long in basketball. Man, shoot the ball. He don't know how to shoot. He ain't going to shoot.
You gonna be able to shoot?
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you have to train them how to shoot. We have to sometimes. Okay, let me ask this question for those of you who are listening. How many of you, if you are a female listening to this show, if your mothers pulled you to the side and said, baby, here is what it takes to be a good wife, I would like for you on that thing to say, yes, I went through that training growing up. If you are a man watching this show and your daddy took you through the training growing up, son, these are the things you need to know to be a good husband.
Yeah.
Put yes, my dad did it. Very few, if any, did that.
I'm ready to do it. Right.
We may have had some isolated conversations,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody properly trained any of us how to be a spouse.
Right.
Very few people got that training for real.
Very few.
You know what I'm saying?
Very few has even witnessed it.
Only thing you really got was if your mom and dad was in the house together, you watched what they did, and that was made sense.
And that's
Very
limited.
few.
And that's limited.
Very few.
You see what I'm saying? So did you actually, did they verbalize to you, hey, here's how you problem solve? You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Now if you had some parents in the house with you, you may have seen them argue, but you don't know how they really resolved it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I understand exactly where you're coming from, but I ain't gonna lie. You have some men that's knowledgeable because that's how I talk to my children.
Well,
My
now,
children some gangsters.
yeah. Well, see, that's my 10-year-old son. I promise you, at 10 years old, he can probably critically think better than the average adult.
Yeah, your little man.
Because
he on point.
That's what I
Put
have
that in
instilled in him, right?
Instilled in him.
And so right now at 10, I'm raising him on how to be a good man, right? And even with his mom, I'm like, son, here are the things that it takes to be a good husband. I'm teaching him those things.
Right.
I'm teaching him that now because I want him to go into this thing knowledgeable. Right, I do. I'm teaching him the things that he should look for in a woman that's truly valuable.
The values.
You know what I'm saying? Son, here are the valuable things of a woman.
Right.
All those other things, those are extras.
Extras.
Superficial.
Superficial.
Yeah, they're superficial. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not suggesting that you go get into a relationship, man or woman, with somebody you're not attracted to.
It
You
won't
know what I'm
work.
saying? Well, it can work over time.
It can,
but
I
it's a
don't
struggle.
suggest it.
It's a
Yeah,
struggle.
I don't
It is a struggle.
That sounds like back in the day when a woman met a man and he really wasn't what she wanted, but they said, well,
I can grow to love him.
you'll grow to love him. You gotta love him. You'll be the security there.
Yeah. I mean, and that's true. I mean, I'm not suggesting that you do that, But what I'm saying is, I'm suggesting that you find, you make sure you find the valuable things about the individual that you're interested in, male or female.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you get it, you go into that thing, and the way that you find the valuable things in them is over a period of time. Not what they say, it's what they do.
What they do.
Wow.
Right.
Time.
Yeah,
Over
time.
time. Once again,
You cannot make no joke. It ain't. Listen, let me tell you what a connection is. You know how people, you heard people say that? I just met this person. Oh, we just had a connection.
It's a vibe.
You know, a vibe. You know, we seem to just get on the same frequency. That's cool. That's cool, but that didn't tell you everything you need to know.
Absolutely not.
Before you start letting your guard down, getting all emotional, you need to see if you all actually share the same value systems. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can connect with somebody that loves to have a good conversation.
Right.
But
That don't
do
mean-
I know that person is a person of value and standards? No, I don't know that yet until I've been around that person long enough. You know what I'm saying? And so I think sometimes we jump into relationships too quickly, like, you know, just because we had a connection.
Right.
You know, that was a great conversation. That was a stimulating conversation. Okay.
I think a lot of people get confused chemistry with compatibility.
Yeah, chemistry and compatibility are not the same thing. Yeah, I mean, compatibility are going to be the areas that will stress your relationship if you're
Stress.
not compatible.
Good stress.
Yeah.
Good stress.
You
So you'll know where you are.
Yeah, well, see, here's the deal. There is unhealthy stress, and then there's good stress. Unhealthy stress makes you ill.
Right.
Okay. Good stress makes you build.
Make it grow.
So in other words, when you go to the gym, are you getting good stress or bad stress?
Absolutely good stress.
Right. It's good stress. It's putting a strain on your muscles. It's putting stress on your muscles, but it's stressing them to grow. You'll know when it's bad stress when you get up under something that's too heavy for you. You're going to hurt something. You know what I mean?
I
So
know.
relationships are the same way. I'm not saying that you can find that man or woman that you're totally compatible with. They're still going to challenge you. Because honestly, how God works it out, he always gives, if God designs it, your mate is always strong where you're weak.
I've noticed that.
That's the compatibility.
God.
See, it's not, y'all aren't going to necessarily be the same. Remember, I said compatibility means you
It's gonna
mesh.
be like steel sharpening
Right.
steel.
Well, think about that, man. People say that all the time. Iron sharpening iron. Have you ever heard iron sharpening iron? That is not a pleasant sound.
Not at all.
And I challenge you on this.
That's good.
It doesn't feel good either. Because if you rub a couple pieces of iron together and then touch it,
Yeah.
it's hot.
That's good, man. I like that.
You see what I'm saying?
I like that.
It's hot.
True.
We don't like heat. We don't want to be in the hot seat. We don't want, man, I just want to magically become sharp.
Man.
I don't want to go through the
Man,
process.
Jimmy, you saying some stuff.
But
man.
that's how we are.
Golly. Somebody said it to me the other day. They was like, man, whenever you ask for something, just remember it. God will give it to you with a test.
That's
He's
it.
like, you ask him to, like people will say, man, God, help me with my mouth. He gonna send you, put you in a situation where you gonna want to curse.
Right.
And so, just because you ask for that, you think about what you asking for.
Well,
You don't have to go through something.
Listen. I think about it this way. When God does something, he does it the right way. So in other words, when you're asking God, Lord, help me with my mouth, God says, okay.
All right. All right.
See,
then.
that's something you can control. You just failed to do it. So I'm going to put you in some situations now where you're going to have to control it.
So I pull out in front of you. Sure.
Right. And then he go, and when you do it, when you succeed, that still small voice gonna be like, see, you did all right.
Why so bad?
Because the deal is, it's us. It's internal. I can only control Jimmy. I can only influence you or inspire you or encourage you. I can't control you.
Yeah.
I can only offer up some information. You have to choose to take that information and do something with it. So, but we find ourselves too busy trying to control other people, and we failing miserably.
Control other people. Come on, y'all.
Your biggest enemy is
Trying to manipulate somebody.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So when you're talking about this whole compatibility piece, you're being compatible and you're still not happy, look internally.
Look at that.
It's you.
Make it time.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta question yourself. Why am I not happy with this great person.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it right there from Mr. Jimmy Rogers, man. If you found that person you're compatible with, why are you not happy? Why aren't they enough? Look within yourself, man. Jimmy, we about to clock this thing out. Before we go, we want you to give the people your information one more time.
Thank you again, man, for having me. The information is www.rrtministry.com. Please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting you and helping you navigate through whatever it is that you want to navigate. If this is an individual session or if this is a couple session, we do it all. And by the way, and if you're of a marriage ministry, we would love to come and visit you all as well too.
Yeah. One more question.
Mm-hmm.
What size shirt you wear?
I'm an extra large.
Extra large. How about that? Man, I got a little something for you, man.
Uh-oh.
Got a little something for you, man.
Don't tell me that's Thrive 365.
It is Thrive 365.
Jaguar
That's where
Living.
Thrive 365 originated from, man. Jaguar Living, man. That's
Oh,
what we're doing
man.
around here, man. If you didn't know, you already know. You follow me.
Man, look here. Boy.
Jaguar Living, man, is being
Listen,
positive
listen.
and being aggressive.
And it's long sleeve.
Hey, come on, man.
Hey, man.
Yes,
You
sir.
ready?
Come equipped.
Jaguar Living, man. Thank you
All
guys,
right,
man.
Now, hey, man, we're so grateful for you coming through, man. We thank you, man. You blessed people today with your knowledge. I learned something. As you noticed, hey, I didn't say a lot. I just nodded. I listened today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Jim, we appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you blessing the people with your information. I'm entrusting that somebody's going to reach out to you. And you're going to bless somebody, and they bless you in return, man. So there you have it, man. Not anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Man, this has been like Trick said, man. Disha said this was. I mean, it was a learning session for me too, man. I mean, a lot of things he brought it to the light for me, and I can apply it to my marriage because I want to be better, constantly growing. This thing is a journey. You know, nobody ain't gonna all have just have it all. We're trying to strive to be better. So I appreciate it.
There it is, people. Hey, next Tuesday, chime in. We will be letting you know the topic a little sooner than we have before. This is Thrive 365. This is what success, substance, and relationships matter. We'll see y'all next week, man.
Peace.